Here we have a geometric question on angles. Okay, let's go the question. So there is a figure given over here. In the figure above, PQ, line segment PQ is parallel to line segment ST. What is the measure of QRS? That is, we have to find the measure of angle over here. Okay, to find the measure of angle over here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another parallel line segment which is parallel to both PQ and ST. Okay, let me do it. Here I have drawn another line segment and I named this point as U. And so please assume the third line segment I have drawn now, RU, is parallel to both PQ and ST. And also I name this angle measure as A, this angle measure as B. Okay, now my aim is to get the angle measure A over here and B over here. When I add them, that is A plus B, will give us the measure of angle QRS, which is required by the question. Okay, now let's find the measure of angle A first. Okay, so already we know that RU, the third line segment I have drawn now, is parallel to both PQ and ST. So anyway, so these two line segments are parallel. So then what is the name of this line segment? This line segment is called transversal. Okay, whenever two parallel lines are intersected by a third line, so the two angle measures over here and here are consecutive interior angles and they must be supplementary. So when I add the angle measure 1 and 10 and A, they must be equal to 1 and 80 degree. So because here the two parallel lines intersected by the transversal RQ and these two angles are called consecutive interior angles and they are supplementary. So A positive 1 and 10 is equal to 1 and 80. Okay, now let's solve for A in this one. So for that I have to subtract 1 and 10 from both sides. When I do so, this positive 1 and 10, negative 1 and 10 will cancel out. When I subtract 1 and 10 from 1 and 80, I am getting 70. Okay, now I got the angle measure A. Okay, now let's go to the second part. So that is already we know that RU and ST are parallel. Since RU and ST are parallel, so this RS is called transversal and the angle measure over here, the angle measure over here are consecutive interior angles and they must be supplementary. So we have B positive 1 and 45 equals to 1 and 80. Okay, to solve for B, we have to subtract 1 and 45 from both sides. When I subtract 1 and 45 from both sides, this positive 1 and 45, negative 1 and 45 will cancel out. So I am getting B is equal to, when I subtract 1 and 45 from 1 and 80, so I am getting 35. Okay, now I got the value of A and I got the value of B. Okay, now our aim is to find the value of A positive B because A positive B gives the angle measure QRS. Okay, so measure of angle QRS is equal to A positive B. So the value of A is 70 degree and the value of B is 35 degree. So when I add them, I'm getting 1 and 5 degree. The measure of angle QRS is 1 and 5 degree.